Do we know that we are not worthy of suffering? And when we know that we are not worthy of suffering, we will not suffer. That knowledge is the knowledge of Eastern wisdom. And this suffering picks us. If I say, that suffering, we are caught in that suffering even on a small issues in our relationship, in a different situation, events, age. We are not worthy of suffering, declares the Eastern wisdom, but without understanding how this suffering takes over our life, our relations, we will not be able to understand. So the entire Eastern wisdom says first understand how you are caught in suffering, grief, stress, anxiety, duality, conflict. They all come under one umbrella, which is known as ignorance. Ignorance simply means here, I do not know who am I. I have a mixed opinion, mixed understanding that I'm the body, I'm the mind, etc. But who am I? What is the exact nature, real nature of the world outside in which I live, think, speak, and work? And what is the existence after all? So you see, that is why we have been reciting the mantra to replace the mind, or mental impurities, unnecessary, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let there be well-being for all. So we see millions of living beings, trillions of living species, billions of human beings. So when this mind with awareness and attention says, let there be a well-being for all, I know I cannot give the well-being to anyone. But I discover that everyone desires the state of the well-being, from the mosquito, from the ant, from the tiger to the elephant, from a person who is working in your house to Bill Gates. So that sense of oneness, seeking, leads us to an understanding of the Eastern wisdom. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Ant, elephant, tiger, they cannot talk. But we can understand they are looking also for the peace. They are also looking for the peace. So we are also looking for the peace. Think. Sarvesham. So that peace is a state. It is not that we have done some practice and that is the initial level. But the time comes, we discover that peace is our essential nature. And once we find and discover peace is our essential nature, that is what is the Eastern wisdom. It guides us, it tells us how to get it. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. The greatest problem of the human mind is that it has a sense, it has a feeling that it is not complete in itself. So when I'm not complete in itself, I will run outside to make myself complete by wealth, by sex, by relationship, by building a big house, by becoming a richest person, by becoming a Miss Universe. So big, there is a constant struggle to become number one, or in a sense, to be complete. So why the mind is running outside to be in the sense of completeness? We don't want to find out. We just want to be complete. We don't know whether what we are searching for in the world can make us complete. So the Eastern wisdom says we are complete in ourselves. We are running and searching completeness outside in the world will never happen. Because it never happens, so it causes the stress. Oh, I have done so much. I worked so hard for 50 years. For what? For stress and suffering. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness, for auspiciousness, good, right. Existence is always good and right. Existence is always offering us what is the best they can offer. But we put a curtain, a veil of lot of desires, a feeling, a sense of insecurity over the existence. We lost touch with the existence. We find the world causes me the suffering. It is because of us. This is what the Eastern wisdom guides us. But by simply saying and making some statement will not work. We have to work on our mind. We have to work in our life based on the principles of Eastern wisdom to reach to that state. I have summarized the path clearly, but for the sake of your mind should remember this satasangatve nisasangatvam. Satasang, the word is used, listening and learning. Who listens and learns the Eastern wisdom? Who is a seeker? Who is a seeker? Who knows he is in or she is in search of the absolute reality, the real self. He or she is searching the real self that is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. The seeker is not happy and satisfied with the temporary pleasures at all. Do I have that intense aspiration and desire in us? But at the same time, am I able to discern, separate what is false from the real self? So that seeker listens and learns, follows the contemplation, reflection, and in the initial stages, the seeker has to continue to practice. So what happens, that mind changes. The world remains as it is. No, what do you mean by mind changes? That mind used to be crazy over a certain food now remains calm. That mind realizes the difference between eat to live or live to eat. Did you understand the difference? I'm telling you a very small activity in our life. So, live to work or work to live to sleep or sleep to live to talk or talk to live. You apply every activity. So, what happens to the mind? The mind moves into a sense of detachment, a sense of dispassion. Huh. What is detachment? Detachment is emotional freedom. No, but what is emotional freedom? So, whenever we have anxiety, duality, conflict, sentimentalism, we become sentimental. It is attachment, it is emotional dependence. No, no, you also used another word, dispassion. Dispassion. Are you attached to the wall of the house? No. Wall should be there. It should be clean. She should be clean, but still I'm not attached. I'm not attached. You see the attachment, but if I'm attached to a particular thing in the world, it identifies, it creates me and mine. We will understand it again in a deeper way. So, the first thing by listening and learning constantly and contemplating and reflecting on the issues pertaining to life, we move towards a sense of detachment and dispassion. So, when that dispassion lives in the mind, our delusion, we are able to remove our delusion. You know, we have a deluded thought, we have a deluded emotion, we have a delusion, illusion, water in the mirrors, blueness of the sky. In a dark night, there is a little sound, and we feel, oh, it's a ghost. Delusion. So, these, once we understand by examples the delusion, then another delusion is also there that I am the body. I am not the body. I am the breath, no. I am the mind, no. So, gradually we understand. Understand means knowledge. Knowledge is opposite to ignorance. Ignorance is caused by the delusion, and there is a delusion because of attachment, emotional dependence. Hmm. So, Eastern wisdom follows a step by step approach. So, once we remove that delusion, this mind is not going anywhere. This mind will never cause, never reflect, never perceive that there is a suffering in the world. Think of this. So that mind, living in ignorance, causes all these stuff, and we remove the ignorance in the mind, that's the same mind will become naturally steady, calm, and relaxed. The answer is yes. Big answer. And a big promise by the Eastern wisdom. That is what we are learning. And once we have the mind steady, it is one pointed, it is moving inside, it is looking inside, it is searching, who am I inside? what happens, we find the real self that I discussed before. Satsang. Satsang. So you see, in the journey to become a seeker, that is our first step. Seeker. We get married, we become a husband and a wife. We have kids, we become fathers. We work in a company, we become a manager, or whatever label we give. So that label represents certain qualities, capacities in our life, a relationship in our life. So when we say we are a seeker, we understand that we have to evolve and transform. We have not to move our life horizontally. A guy works in a food store as a cashier and retires as a cashier. It's a horizontal living in which we constantly repeat the same thing again and again, and we are happy. We don't see the world outside. We say, okay, we will continue to do it. But the same cashier says, okay, I will take over the responsibility of that food store. So there is a vertical movement. He becomes manager. He retires as a manager. So this is also a change. The first was also a change, working continuously for 50 years and retires as a cashier. So I'm repeating the same thing again and again and again and again. So that is known as the growth. The moment you become a manager, that is also a change. It is known as a development. So third guy does not stop there. So he's a manager working for 10 years. He says, no, let me visualize the greater way to do the work. I have a lot of experience. So he opens the chain. He opens his own food store. So he is totally transformed. Not only he is, now he is the owner. So what happens, that is what the evolution in the world outside. Whether we use that word growth, change, it is also a change. Development is a change. Evolution is also a change. And transformation is also a change. So what Eastern wisdom is looking, it says, okay, balance the level of the growth. Take care of the body, repair and maintenance. Keep on servicing the body. One day the body has to go. And then inside the body, you develop inside. Find out how you can raise your level of awareness, how you can step into the higher awareness, so that your higher awareness is expressed in your thought, speech, and action, and you discover that yes, there is always a peace and calmness and happiness within. Not only you stop there, you now start transforming your life. Transformation means internally you live at the highest level of consciousness. You find, what do you find? You discover, you find, you realize, you experience. What do you experience? Do you remember the mantra that We started with that mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. You see, you experience, you know, you realize the well-being in all, the peace in all, the completeness in all. You see it. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. We have to keep in our mind. We are not seeking less, we are not seeking more, we are seeking as it is. So, what happens then? We start living wisely. Are we not living wisely now? Yes, we are living wisely now, but this wisdom is lost when we start suffering. So, when we say we are living wisely, that suffering, that grief, that pain, that pleasure do not touch the core of who we are. We face, you have a pain, but you don't have a suffering. The body is constantly changing. Whatever is changing has to bring suffering, but I'm not attached. So you live into that state of awakening. That is the meaning of living wisely. You don't have an emotional dependence. There is no delusion. There is no attachment, detachment. There is no blame and complaint. You are living wisely. Wisely means you are living with the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. We discover that we are not worthy of suffering. Living wisely means declaring, I am the real self, because you know it. Now our relationship is based on peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Whether one moves with the same peace or happiness, it doesn't matter. It is called awakening and realization. We have to think and contemplate and reflect every day. So that the more you contemplate and reflect, your impure mind, the mind starts becoming pure and pure and pure and clean and transparent. That is why our master says that the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is moving from ignorance to wisdom. From ignorance to wisdom. Asato ma satgamaya. Moving from the false to the truth is the journey of the life. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Moving from the ignorance to wisdom is the actual purpose and also the journey of the life. Mrityuramamritangam. What we find? We find we are immortal beings in a mortal body. Can I repeat? We are immortal being in a mortal body. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. But unless we understand that, how you can say that I'm living in ignorance? Prove it. Oh, no, make us understand. Then only we can say, yes, we want to remove the ignorance. So if we do not recognize that there is an ignorance, if the doctor doesn't recognize where is the problem, he cannot give you medication. Baby is not crying. The mom says, okay, everything is okay. Unless the baby cries, we know the baby needs food or wet the bed. So there has to be a cause and effect. So we should understand how Eastern wisdom talks about that we are living in ignorance. So from today, start asking the questions what you know about yourself. Now I know my gender, name, nationality, parents, profession, strength, weakness. Yeah, we know it. Our desires, our craving, emotions, our education. That is what we call the IQ, the emotional, the intelligence. So I'm in a knowledge. You are talking about that I'm in ignorance. Yes, yes. Wait, wait, wait. We knew all these things. So when we know all these things, at the time of the birth, after the birth, or many years after the birth, ask yourself, am I living in ignorance or not? Did we know anything before, just after the birth, who we are? No, we didn't know anything, the time of the birth. Parents took care of us. That's why we are alive now. So we existed in the womb of the mother also. Did we know anything that we are in the womb of a mother, this mother or that mother? Then we were born, came out of the womb of the mother. Did we know that we are born? What parents said that baby is born? My baby. We did not know anything. Oh, can we know by Eastern wisdom? Hold on. We are only talking about whether we are living in ignorance who we are or not. Then we will go to the second question. We did not know the word parents, relations, gender at the time of the birth. Is it ignorance? Ignorance simply means I did not know. I don't know. And the first step of the Eastern wisdom is I don't know, let me know it. So, but first we are understanding what we do not know. We have to be very clear. Just by knowing my name and the form and gender, relationship does not clarify who am I. Did we know we were going to be born? Is it not ignorant? I will go to Best Buy and buy the mouse. I know it. I'll go to the kitchen and cook vegetables. So here is a creation, the cause and effect. Did I know when I am going to be born as a human being, not as other living species? Is it not ignorance? Ignorance simply means I don't know. Were we born by ourselves? Now, how can you be born by yourself? Oh, there are many living species. They are born by themselves. They multiply them. No, we have to know what we do not know. Think, think, contemplate and reflect. We had no choice. We had no choice for our birth. We had no choice of our gender. We had no choice for our parents. We had no choice for the country. We had no choice for social and economic condition. In which condition will be born? How much we do not know. And still the mind claims I know everything. Do you see the conflict? And do you also see the cause of our suffering? Because we do not know, we claim we know it, and we follow what we falsely know, and it causes the suffering. Because we do not know. Because we do not know. We identify ourselves with a name, form, gender, economic, social condition, parents' education, and we claim, here I am. We are trying to understand what we do not know. So once we keep that in our mind, what we do not know, then we start understanding how to know what we do not know. Do we know where is our life going? Now I have a 5-year plan, but anything can happen between 5 years. I'm talking about my financial and other conditions, relationship with the world. I'm asking a simple where I will be in 5 years. I may die tomorrow. I don't know. So we are trying to understand what we do not know so that we will know all those things what we do not know. And that is what the Eastern wisdom says. Where I am in my life now, am I going with the life as desired by the existence? What experiences the life offers me every day? Is my life really good by having everything, the world? Who is driving my life? What is the destination of my life? We do not know. We are trying to understand what are the things that we do not know about our life. Do I know from where I came in? I came from the womb of the mother. And from where we came from? Oh, it's all about the, the, the relationship between my parents. So it's a problem of chicken and egg. Which came first? Then you continue, keep on asking, and you don't find the answer. And then we have a very vague answer, Adam and Eve. Is it not ignorance? Eastern wisdom says, hold on. First, recognize what you do not know, and we will answer each and every question. Not only question, you have to do the practice, you have to enter into that experience to know. It appears, you know, those people who say the life is struggle, it appears that as if they were thrown on the earth planet from nowhere. So we are also thrown on the planet from nowhere because we have been experiencing, a lot of suffering. Suffering at home, suffering with the body, suffering with the mind, suffering with the breath, suffering with the society, with the nation, with the relation. Ah, suffering, suffering. So, as if we are thrown on the earth planet from nowhere, we are trying to understand, pay attention. You have to contemplate and reflect what are the things that we do not know. We know it vaguely, we do not know, we want to know. Choice of the gender made by the existence, choice of parents, country, family, conditions are made by the existence. That much we can say. Choice of a disease or a healthy body made by the existence. Now tell me another, do I know how to think, speak, and respond to the outer situations in the world and inner situations? Yes, yes, I know it. Okay. So, when you respond to the outer situations, you return home and you are suffering because you responded to the outer situation. Then why you are suffering? Hmm? That is the question. If I know it, because I don't know, I reacted, I'm suffering. So when I'm suffering, it means I don't know. I'm living in peace. I'm spreading the fragrance like a rose flower as you pass. No, I'm not able to do that. So it means I don't know. Our responses, our thoughts, our actions are instinctual, impulsive, habitual, accidental, carried out by the past impression. Where life is going, who is living, where I was, where is my destination. Our today's talk is concerned, focused on what we do not know we should know in order to live in wisdom. We should remove the ignorance so that we live in wisdom, we start living wisely. That is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. Simple. How we do it, that we will take later. How we claim that we are suffering. No, I have a fever. Over 102. Okay. Why? Because of infection. Now, you are suffering from the fever? Yes. No, if one has a fever, then we are suffering. Very good. I accept that. Now, ask the next question. This fever is caused due to infection. Yes, I agree. Science understands. No, no, I'm asking the next question. You have an infection that is life threatening and you don't have a fever. Do you want that? No, I will die. So is fever suffering? We have to see our life with a different understanding. There are there are events, situations that is taking place every day in my life which indicates that I have to evolve. I have to remove this ignorance. So, if fever is an indication of infection, one example. So, I have a fever. Should I take that fever positively or negatively? So, if I take it positively, fever is not suffering. Fever is an indication of some deeper problem in my body. Now, replace this fever with the honey. In our life, in our relationship, honey means, anyone who is dear and near to me, which I claim. So now you have replaced the honey, fever with a honey. Oh, this honey is making me crazy. How? Should I learn from it or should I fight back? You can put this example in any situation. So it gives me a new level of awareness, what I have to learn in this situation. Many couple comes to me and I say, you married? Yes. You have a problem? Yes. Find out that is that problem a fever indicating something deeper in you to change, to evolve, to transform. We don't see it. We are living in ignorance. We are focused on the topic that we do not know. We are living in ignorance. We should know first, and then we will continue the journey of the Eastern wisdom to get rid of it. Give an example of fever, infection is the cause, doctor recognizes, and then he says, here are the pills. So the root cause is taken care, the fever goes away. Am I worthy of suffering? So as long as I feel I'm worthy of this suffering, I am in ignorance. Can I say that? For any reason, in relationship, in the family, at the physical level, at the mental level, at the emotional level. We need to inquire. We need to understand. Because we have started a new series so that we can go deeper. You know, after many weeks, months, and years, maybe when we become 1 or 2 or 3 years old, parents taught us to eat and drink, go to the restroom, put on the clothes. We were weaker than animals. Have you seen the cubs? Moment they are born, within few minutes they stand up, they start walking. They start sucking the milk of the mom and they are done. Start living their own lives. We need many weeks, months, and years. And still we are not able to learn fully how to live in peace and happiness. We are 60, we are 70, and still we do not know to be in peace and happiness. We remain agitated, angry, reactive. We claim we are worthy of this suffering all the time. We are just understanding. It's not a pessimistic view. We all want to know whether we are living in ignorance or not. So once we know the problem, we can find the solution. Go a little deeper. So after a certain age, we start playing with the dual experiences of pain and pleasure, likes and dislikes. No, we have series of experiences every day. The moment we wake up in the morning until we retire to the bed. I am not here, and I didn't sleep well today. Sleep was disturbed, and I'm doing this, and then I have a pain and pleasure, likes and dislikes. So we have series of experiences. Every day We have thousands of experiences, we notice only few. So we are living in ignorance because we notice hardly few. And in those experiences also, we claim life is a series of experiences. Is life only a series of experiences or something more? We never asked. We never asked the question. We simply say that the flow of experiences is what my life is. Are you understanding? Is it not ignorance? Yes. Yesterday I reacted to something, for example, and after a few days that reaction subsides, and then my mind is ready to react, ready to be anxious, ready to blame, ready to claim. Oh. So are these experiences my life, or is it not ignorance? Yes, yes, that I see. I always wanted not to be angry, agitated, stressed, and suffering. Oh, yes, very good. Very good. Your thought is good. But are you not repeating the same thought, speech, action, but expecting a different result? How it is possible? Uh, in the last group session, this young girl is from Poltava, from Ukraine. So she has a fiancé. So the journey, you have a fiancé. Oh, blah, everything is so good and rosy. But I'm living in ignorance. And I claim this guy is fiancé one time, one point of time, second point of time, soulmate, third point of time, soulmate, fourth point of time, divorce. I am common. Why don't I change myself? Is life only the series of experiences that we have? Is it not ignorance? Then we should ask, are we not crazy, lazy, obsessed, and living like a habitual, living with our habits and instinct and impulses? We understand it, we recognize it. Animals do not recognize, they cannot change it. Why they cannot change it? They are not living at a higher level of self awareness the way I'm living. And we all are living. And still, I'm not able to change. I know anxiety is bad. I know reaction is bad. I know the fears are unfounded. I know it. But I keep on living in the same. Is it not worth to bring about a change and transform? That's why I use the word growth, development, evolution, and transformation. Eastern wisdom follows. Eastern wisdom uses all the tools to reach to that state of transformation. 2 plus 2 is 6. Yes. So, whatever life, if you create a mathematical equation, our life is equal to some experiences of pleasure, other experiences of pain, still other experiences of anxiety and emotional dependence, other experience plus experience of the possessions, plus falling into unconscious sleep, plus waking up the next day doing the same thing again and again. Is it not the entire life we are living in ignorance? Ignorance means I do not know. I have to know. First thing, Our master says first, know, are you in ignorance or not? If yes, then we can take a next step. If you do not know, you are not, then you will never take a step. You have taken the step, I'm just giving uh, an understanding of the seeker. Same emptiness, same hollowness. Body is made up of the matter. If you don't eat carb, protein, fat, and other stuff, they all are matter. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc., etc. So they are matter. So body is nothing but the matter. We never think, am I matter? And if I am a matter like the mouse, it does not have a consciousness. I have a consciousness. And we keep on living in ignorance. Ignorance causes suffering and less suffering, our master declares. We have to only remove the ignorance. No, I'm a self made man. Yes, the guy was telling me last week. I said, very good. You're a self made man. So kindly don't take the air from the existence because you're a self made man. You produce, you create your own air. Then I will say that you are a self made man. Stop eating from the nature because it comes from the existence. Then only I will say you are a self made man. You can go on asking this question. How can I say? Because being self made man, my goodness, I build such a strong ego. Ego means mind that is emotionally dependent, mind that claims in delusion, a deluded mind, that I-ness which does not exist. We will understand, but I'm just giving you a reference. So that is why our master asks again and again, first recognize, am I living in ignorance or not? If I'm not living in ignorance, it's okay. So you see the beauty of understanding. The moment I claim I am suffering, I am not worthy of suffering. The moment I claim I am suffering, I am in ignorance. I gave an example of fever and infection. So when we understand that why we met a certain person, why we got married to a certain person, why we have those kids, and how those kids are behaving, why we have that amount of the money. So I become totally aware of everything. I recognize it. I don't recognize. So when I don't recognize, my mind takes an instinctive, impulsive action, and then we say, oh, it's a problem. The way the fever after understanding is not taken as the suffering, but it gives me the cause to understand. My life is threatened by a virus that manifested as a high fever. So you say to the doc, oh, please take care of me. Give me the strong pills. So you take the strong pills, you remove the cause, the infection, the fever is gone. So when the mind experiences all those suffering, anxiety, duality, conflict, challenges in our relationship, they are nothing like the fever. Not more than the fever. I have to dig inside and find out the root cause. That root cause is the ignorance. Ignorance means that I do not know who am I, what is the exact nature of the world. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Let everyone be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. Let everyone be healthy. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everyone be blessed. Ma kaschet dukkha bhag bhavi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pay attention, listen to it again and again. No, or simply answer one question to yourself. Am I living in ignorance about myself or not? So here ignorance means, do I really know who am I? Or whatever I know is a surface understanding or a wrong understanding of who am I? Don't get frustrated. Just recognize I don't know and accept it. So once you accept I don't know, we can take the next step. How to proceed? We'll be talking. Thank you very much. That is all for today. Sarvesham swastir Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.